Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. We got our Star Wars set. I have my Star Wars on because we're talking about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 3. It's called The Heiress. And Paul and I have not been too keen on it. We haven't hated it. Don't get us wrong.
You guys are crazy.
We haven't hated it. Now, Mark has had varying opinions on this now, so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well and go over Episode 3 right after this. All right, Mark. We thought Episode 1 and 2 were lacking.
And you're crazy. You're crazy on both counts.
Explain to us why.
Okay, so the first episode gave us, the Great Dragon, okay, which is the first time we've actually seen a real moving Great Dragon.
So I got the picture here. If they throw in anything that reminds you of the original trilogy, wow.
But okay, listen.
My Star Wars fanboy eyes pop out of my head.
You have to understand that we had the original trilogy, and then all of the sequels and prequels.
We know
that
they
came
suck.
out. No, but they took us so far out of Star Wars.
But we're not ranking it on how well it references the first Star Wars. How was it as an episode?
But as far as fan service goes, and I'm a fan. As far as fan service goes, you want to see a return to that.
That's fine.
Okay, what about story?
But the episode, how was the episode?
The story itself, yeah, it was let's save this village episode. And we know that they're basing The Mandalorian on sort of a Western theme, right? Save the village.
Which they did in the first season.
What's that?
It was like a Western the first season.
Okay, and so this is like a space Western. Okay,
yes.
So that's where, if that's what you expect and that's what they're doing, then that's what they did. And they delivered on that. Okay, and then you have episode 2, which gave us the alien chase with those spider things, and it was just like in the movie The Aliens, right? So I thought it was adrenaline. They packed so much into that 40-minute episode. It was like a full on.
They packed so much into it?
I find they did.
They were chased, landed, escaped. That was it.
There was more of that. More than that, and there was the frog creature with the eggs with the Baby Yoda. And I understand. Okay, well Baby Yoda's eating everything, but that's what he eats frogs in the marsh. That's what he does.
He's eating her babies and destroying the last of her line.
Okay, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
But still,
but
no.
I thought both Don and I thought that there was a lot of fluff. There was a lot of wasted time. It wasn't as exciting.
A lot of what they do, obviously, a lot of what they do is they bring us back to the original trilogy. They give us things that we recognize, and they don't stuff it down your throat, but they show you, right? So when he was going into the snow caverns.
But we're not talking about what they're we're talking about the actual story itself.
Is this making me say I can't wait for the next episode?
Okay. Yeah. Granted, they're not giving us cliffhangers at the end of each episode, right? Not a lot of cliffhangers.
Well, they did. The very first episode, they gave you Boba Fett.
That's not really a cliffhanger. They were saying,
if you're a fanboy, it's a cliffhanger.
There's Boba Fett, and
you just saw The Mandalorian.
Okay.
What's going to happen?
Mark liked the first 2 episodes. We were
very, very mediocre.
Okay, so
not mediocre. Right down the middle.
You see, you guys are being way too hard on this. Okay, take the worst Mandalorian episode is still better than anything we've gotten since the early '80s.
But that doesn't make it great.
No, but it makes it way.
But is the worst Mandalorian episode still better than the first 2 we saw?
There was a lot of traveling. There was a lot of traveling. I admitted that.
Yes.
They could have cut down on that a bit. But you have to understand that, okay, well, he's going there with a goal. His goal was to help this village to get information to move on to his next step.
Yes,
and he did that.
But we didn't need to see him drive 4 different times in the episode.
So it's a bad episode because he drove a couple times.
It's a bad episode because 10 minutes of a 40-minute episode was driving.
Okay, you're getting mad at him for liking something.
Yes. So, what did you guys think of episode 3? Let's start off with a positive outlook.
No, let's listen to your craziness first, and I will
Episode 3, called The Heiress. Shows him continuing his trek to the planet to drop off the frog lady and try to get information about where to find Mandalorians. And it turns into something where he has to help. Spoiler. A few Mandalorians overtake an Empire ship to get some weapons.
Yep, transport.
Yeah. So that's what the episode is about. What kind of episode would you call that?
A heist.
A heist episode? Okay. And the main Mandalorian that he encounters is Bo-Katan. Now, we're not comic book people. We don't read all the novels. But apparently Bo-Katan is a big character in the Star Wars universe and eventually apparently becomes leader of Mandalore, right?
Or at least that faction of Mandalore.
Right. Bo-Katan played by Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this episode did something that I wasn't expecting, and that's they took sort of the Mandalorians and they introduced to us different sects and sort of, I guess, religious groups within the Mandalorian.
Yeah, so when they meet, the new Mandalorians take off their helmet. And he goes, wow, you guys aren't real Mandalorians. And they tell him, oh, it's just because you were brought up in this special sect where they're hardcore, fundamentalist Mandalorians. Us normal people, we take off our helmets. Okay, so now we know that there are different societies of Mandalorian.
With different beliefs.
And I turned to him right away and I said, oh, wait a second, that's how they're going to justify Boba Fett being a Mandalorian and still being able to take off his helmet.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In case you're wondering, Katie Sackhoff, you'll best know her from Battlestar Galactica.
And Another Life on Netflix, if you haven't seen that. That's a little space thing. That was
Yeah.
good.
So, now, as far as the episode is concerned, they had some humorous things in it. There are a few points that I found, and we even said it as we're watching the episode. We went, why? Right? Like, why was he even along? Because he was just following behind the three of them, and they were just shooting everybody on the ship.
Yeah. We need you to help us do this. And it looked
and-
like they were indestructible.
Yeah, and he was basically doing nothing until the very end, where for some reason, he now had to take these little hand grenades and run 20 feet in front of himself while he's being shot, because he has the strong armor, the Vespa armor, and then he drops to the ground and kind of tosses the grenades. Because when you're down on the ground like this and you go, ugh, and you toss the grenades halfway across the room and they explode, you couldn't have done that from 20 feet further back with your full arm. And
Okay, well,
And
power
he
in
says,
numbers.
cover me.
he says, cover me, and then he just gets shot everywhere, which is funny.
I think that was done on purpose. But
But
power in numbers. That's why they wanted him along.
Yeah, but he did nothing. If you watch the episode, he's completely following them and ducking behind them almost every time. And they're just like this. Pew, 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 pew.
All you see throughout the whole invasion is Bo-Katan in front, walking, kicking butt,
Yeah.
walking, kicking butt, and you don't see the Mandalorian anywhere.
Yeah, he's hiding behind,
Okay.
up against the wall. We looked at ourselves and said, why did they need him again?
Again, you guys are picking apart, that's
No,
a very, very
no, but-
small thing.
No. We need you in order to complete this mission. And he does nothing. We need him to have
That's-
a point. He should have been the
That's
best
not what they
fighter
said.
there. Yes, they did.
No, what they said was, if you want information from us, you're going to help us with what we want to do.
And why did they need him?
Power in numbers. The more of them there are, the better their
Okay, well,
chances. They're taking over an entire ship.
Let's just say that, okay, it makes sense that way. But the way I'm feeling about this episode is the comment I had in the first episode when they're on the land speeders and the guy is telling that fish story. This is how it went, but it seemed kind of exaggerated. Well, it seems like every episode is like somebody's telling a story, and there's all these things you're just supposed to forgive because it's a story.
And it's a space opera.
Which is fine. But I mean, just that little little thing that I'm talking about, all they had to do is make him do something during that, and it would not have stood out so much.
Make him integral for the success of the mission.
Of the mission. We needed him for this reason. Whether it's his code breaking to get into the...
Okay, but let's-
something. He did nothing.
Let's remember, he's not a superhero.
No, but the point of the episode is we need your help. You have to come with us or we're not going to tell you where the Jedi is.
You want our help? then you give us your help. That's what it was. It
he
doesn't
didn't
have
help.
to be that
But he didn't
we
help.
need you because you're the best person in the world. It wasn't one of those. And he's gonna
No.
take damage, he's gonna get beat up.
We need you because you're a Mandalorian. And you're a great fighter. Oh, why is he hiding behind us as we're running down the hall?
They're all working to the same purpose.
See, you've got your fanboy goggles on, just excusing bad storytelling. And I won't excuse bad. I love the Mandalorian. I'm not going to excuse bad storytelling. Just making him do something important would have changed the whole outlook of that entire scene.
Like throw a couple grenades and destroy all of the troopers that were after them.
Only, but by doing it because he ran, 15 feet in front of himself, fell to the ground, and then went like this.
Because he ran ahead to get closer to the door so he didn't miss.
How did we actually feel about this episode? Not the nitpicking, but was it better than the first 2 episodes?
I think so.
I think it was far better than the first episode.
I think we're back on track to telling the story, to bringing us where we want to go.
See, the trouble with the first episode might have been that it was too long.
Felt long.
It was long. It's almost 11 minutes longer than the other episodes.
Oh yeah, they change.
This was the shortest episode out of all 3.
Yeah, they change every week. They're different lengths.
I thought this episode had a lot more happening in it, or at least the space between things happening wasn't as bland. I liked the idea of the different sects of Mandalorian. Sects.
Yeah, no, I heard.
There were some funny parts in there that actually made me laugh out loud instead of just, So I enjoyed this episode more than the first 2 episodes.
So did I.
Okay, good. At least we agree on something.
Yeah.
Does this mean that the series is back on track?
I think it's further ahead now than when we started the season 2. It's we have now been we know where the Jedi are, okay, and we know who he's going to meet, and we know who he's going to meet, and that tells us a little more than just okay. Well, he's going to meet this Jedi. We know who this Jedi is, and you notice we haven't seen Baby Yoda use any force in episode 2 yet, or in season 2 yet.
No, they hint at it a couple of times, like, oh, maybe this gesture is he's going to start, and then they don't do anything.
Yeah. So
Until at one point he will.
yeah,
But
it'll probably be a fairly big gesture when they do it.
yeah, my prediction didn't come true. He didn't cough up the eggs,
No.
which I predicted he would do, and I still thought once he saw the little tadpole be born, I'm going, oh, maybe he's going to do it.
Your spoiler was spoiled.
My spoiler was spoiled. It didn't happen.
No, and I knew that wouldn't happen because, I mean, that's what he eats.
Yeah, but I bet you right now Disney's kind of wishing they had that happen because they got a lot of negative feedback on that episode.
What? Baby Yoda. Okay, Baby Yoda's not a vegan.
I know, but you should see the people who are like trying to become mothers or who have just lost somebody, and they were right. This is the trolls. The trolls out there picked up on this.
They're not trolls. They're weirdos.
Yeah, but they picked up on it and went right after it. That's what I mean. You can't say anything on the internet or do anything.
Those are people that are watching it with an agenda to pick it apart. Kind of like, running down a hallway and throwing grenades.
No, because what did I say? I said I liked the episode, so there's a difference. Mm-hmm. I don't have my Star Wars Star Boys glasses on. I'm looking for story.
Yeah. And
I'm not looking for... I wonder if they reference the originals.
No, there was story.
Okay, instead of...
And we're going back over. What do you rate the episode?
Oh, this one's better. This one's I'd say 7.5. There's room to improve. There's room for more to happen, but we're still early days. We're still not even halfway through yet.
Yeah.
I'm about a 7. 7 to me it was a good episode. Few flaws, few good things. Good enough.
There was one thing that irked me a little bit, and that's when the other Mandalorians showed up. Okay? I got sort of a Power Rangers vibe from them at first. And then when they showed up a second time, just happened to show up at the right time. It's like they're hovering above them, waiting to drop down and save the day. I was like, okay, well, that's a little too convenient. But I digress.
We're bounty hunters, right?
Yeah,
So
well,
that's what they do.
Yeah, sure.
And she's the queen, apparently, so...
Heiress.
The Heiress. Now, did I see you when were watching the episode? Were you shaking your head when they first landed on the transport? and they just flew above like this, and then they landed beside the
Yeah.
stormtrooper, who's like,
Because the stormtroopers are only on one side apparently, and they didn't see them coming up from behind.
both of them.
They're guarding the transport, and they didn't see these guys flying up to the
And
transport.
not one of them went like this.
That's well, those helmets are really
That's why you do this. Good start. I thought it was a funnier episode, and a little bit more story driven, which was better. I want the Mandalorian to do more in the episode.
well, and that's coming.
I'm hoping, because so far he's been following.
Now we're heading right to the section of when all the news came out saying about halfway through filming something big happened. So we're heading on to next week. We're heading to episode 4. We'll find out what went wrong. They were saying something with Pedro Pascal. Maybe he walked away.
This was better. Agreed?
Okay.
Agreed.
Agreed. So at least we're ready to watch episode 4. All right, well, let us know what you guys think. We are still kind of disagreeing and agreeing at the same time. But I'm hoping that the Star Wars Mandalorian picks up speed, and we're really looking forward to it by the end. Agreed?
Agreed.
All right, maybe check out some more of our other content, because I know after watching this one, you're definitely looking forward to our other reviews down here, because you're going to say, they can't ramble on that much as they did in this one and those. It's like a challenge.
You're still rambling.
That's the challenge. Find another episode that we ramble more. And until next time, we'll see you on the channel.